let's be real for a minute. For years, if you talked about the Boston Celtics, you were really talking about Jason Tatum. Right? He was the chosen one. The smooth operator, the face of the franchise, the guy with the picture-perfect game destined to bring banner number 18 to Boston. And Jaylen Brown? He was the other guy. The explosive athlete, the co-star, the incredible number 2, but always, number 2. He was the 1B to Tatum's 1A. That was the story. It was the story everyone told, from the biggest TV analysts to the fans arguing on Twitter. It was the story we all just kind of accepted. But what happens when the story is wrong? What happens when the so-called other guy steps out of the shadow and doesn't just ask for the spotlight, but rips it away and makes it his own? That's what we just witnessed. We just watched a player completely rewrite his own legacy in real time, on the biggest stage imaginable. This isn't just about the Boston Celtics winning a championship. This is about the fundamental power shift that happened right before our eyes. This is the story of how Jaylen Brown went from being the co-star to being the Finals MVP, and why that single achievement changes absolutely everything we thought we knew. Think about the journey just to get here. Think about all the noise Jaylen Brown has had to endure. For years, his name was in every trade rumor. Should the Celtics break up the Jays? They asked, over and over again. They criticized his handle. They questioned his decision-making in the clutch. Last year, when he signed that massive, record-breaking Supermax contract, the world screamed that he was overpaid. They said he wasn't a true number 1, that you couldn't build a championship team around him with that kind of price tag. He heard all of it. He absorbed every doubt, every criticism, every single piece of disrespect. And he channeled it. This entire playoff run, he was just different. There was a seriousness to him, a level of focus that was almost intimidating. It wasn't just the explosive dunks or the tough shot-making we're used to. It was the little things. It was the lockdown defense on the other team's best player. It was the calm demeanor when the pressure was at its highest. It was the way he led, not just with his voice, but with a relentless, quiet force. While everyone was still looking to Tatum to be the hero, Brown was the one consistently making the winning plays, the ones that don't always show up in the box score but change the entire momentum of the series. He was the best player in the Eastern Conference Finals. And then, he got to the NBA Finals, and he didn't just maintain that level. He elevated it. When the offense got stagnant, he was the one who would attack the rim with reckless abandon to get a bucket. When the defense needed a stop, he was the one taking on the toughest assignment. He was the team's emotional heartbeat. He was the engine that would not quit. And then came the moment. The final buzzer sounds. The confetti falls. The Celtics are champions. But the real drama, the real story, was in that moment right after, when Adam Silver walked up to the podium to announce the Bill Russell Finals MVP award. You could feel the tension. Everyone assumed, out of habit, that it would be Tatum. But the award isn't for the whole season. It's for that series. It's for the player who imposed his will when it mattered most. And when Silver said his name, Jaylen Brown, the entire narrative of a franchise, of 2 careers, shifted on its axis. The look on his face said everything. It was validation. It was vindication. It was the culmination of a decade of being underestimated. And this is why it changes everything. First, let's talk about the power dynamic in Boston. For the first time, you can't say it's Tatum's team. You just can't. How can you when the other guy is holding the Finals MVP trophy? This isn't a knock on Jason Tatum at all, he's an incredible player, and they don't win without him. But this is no longer a hierarchy. It's a true partnership. A legitimate 1A and 1A. Jaylen Brown now has the one piece of hardware that Tatum doesn't. He has the ultimate trump card. Every conversation from now on, every debate about who the real leader is, has to include this fact. That creates a fascinating new dynamic inside that locker room. It might even be a good thing, relieving some of the insane pressure that's always been on Tatum's shoulders. Second, this silences every single person who questioned his contract. $300 million seemed insane to people. But what's the price of a championship? What's the price of a finals MVP? It turns out, it's priceless. He has now justified every single penny. He proved that he's not just worth the money, but that he can be the best player on the best team in the world. That kind of validation changes how a player is perceived forever. He's no longer just an athletic wing, he is a certified, proven winner. And finally, think about what this means for the rest of the NBA. The Celtics dynasty everyone was scared of? It just got a whole lot scarier. Other teams have a superstar. A few have a great duo. The Celtics now have two bona fide, in their prime superstars, both of whom have proven they can be the guy on the biggest stage. How do you game plan for that? Who do you double team? It's a strategic nightmare. They are no longer a team with a clear leader and a great co-star. They are a two-headed monster, and both heads are equally venomous. Jaylen Brown's journey is the kind of story we live for in sports. He took the criticism, he took the doubt, he took being called second best, and he used it as fuel. He didn't complain. He didn't demand a trade. He just got better. He got smarter. He got tougher. He put his head down, did the work, and waited for his moment. And when that moment finally came, he didn't just seize it. He owned it. He is no longer Jason Tatum's co-star. He is Jaylen Brown, NBA champion, and the Bill Russell Finals MVP. And that is a story that no one can ever take away from him.